We will compare popular bodybuilding foods for their protein content in a tier list. This will help you maximize muscle growth and recovery. For each food, we will go through the main components to see where they rank in the tier list. Some foods, which are very popular, will have unexpected results, and some will be straight up terrible for your muscle. Let me tell you more about that to go into the rules of the game. So each food will count as organic and very high quality. So we're not going to consider pollutions and toxins. And the values for 100 grams, this is 3.5 ounces of the food, we will count the food as raw. Now, speaking of that, we're going to rank it for the essential amino acids. We're going to rank the presence and the amount of branched chain amino acids, which are the most important one for muscle growth, the amount of leucine, which is the single most important amino acid for muscle growth, and I will tell you more in a moment. And then we're going to consider the balance between protein and the other nutrients. Now, if you like this type of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Now, what is muscle growth? Muscle growth happens when you have enough calories, which is enough energy, plus the right building blocks, which are the amino acids. And branched chain amino acids are the most important ones. But something is very important to be said. Only about 50% of your best muscle growth can be reached only with branched chain amino acid. To get to the top, you need all the essential amino acid. If you want 100% growth, so the maximum growth for your genetics, you need all the essential amino acids plus good levels of branched chain amino acid. And the most important of the amino acid of them all is leucine. So with that said, let's compare them all and see which one shall reign supreme, which food is the best in our tier list. Starting with mackerel. Now, mackerel gets you like 151 kilocalories, and it gives you 8 grams of fat every 100 grams, of which the majority are omega-3, no carbs, and 20 grams of protein. Now, speaking of the branched chain amino acids, the one you see in red, valine, leucine, isoleucine. We have 1 gram of valine, 1.6 of leucine, 0.9 of isoleucine. Remember, the most important one being leucine. So what do we put this in our tier list? Now, there are 20 grams of protein every 100 grams, which is fairly okay. 8 grams of fat every 100 grams. And this is actually good for you because the majority here are omega-3. Why is this important? Omega-3 fatty acids are important for what? Reducing inflammation. So it means you're gonna recover in a faster way. And if you recover in a faster way, you can get back to training in a faster way, and boom, you can grow more. Now, then we have a decent spread of essential amino acid, 3.5 grams of branched chain amino acid, which is fairly good, 1.6 of leucine. So where do we put this? I would say this is an overall solid high B tier. And if you like this type of content, please leave a like on this video here. Now, next in our list, we have tempeh. And tempeh has 209 kilocalories, 11 grams of fat, 8 of carbs, and about 20 of proteins. This means this is not just protein with a bit of fat. This also has some carbs. So consider that in your choice. Now, 0.9 of valine, 1.4 of leucine, 0.9 in isoleucine. Not bad, but not great either. Where do we put this? So we have 20 grams of protein, 11 of fats, decent spread of essential, 3.2 of branched chain amino acid, which is below what mackerel had, 1.4 of leucine, which is also below what mackerel had. Where do we put this? So if we put high B tier for mackerel, this is going to go into low to mid B tier. And you're going to see after the next food that there is a case that this could be mid B tier or the other way around. Let's have a look. Next one is turkey. Very, very popular food. Turkey has 138 kilocalories, about 6 of fat in some of the best choices, obviously, about 22 of proteins. Now, speaking of the essential amino, or not the essential, but the branched chain amino acid, 0.7 of valine, 0.6 of isoleucine, and 1.5 of leucine, which is good, but not great. Where do we put this? So this is a bit like, it's difficult for me to put this in here. So 22 grams of protein every 100. So this is superior to tempeh. Better calories, good spread of the essential, but only 2.8 of branched chain and 1.5 of leucine, which is below tempeh. Where should we put this? So considering that the more you eat, the more you're gonna get more proteins out of this because the overall protein intake is higher, I think this is better to be put higher than tempeh, so mid B tier, but there could be a case of switching them around, and I don't have a full answer yet. Maybe one day I will do like a video where I put them one against the other and we decide fully which one is better based on everything. For now, mid B tier, I think that's the right place. Next, we have Cottage's very popular food for bodybuilding, and 97 kilocalories, 4 grams of fat, 3 of carbs, and about 11 of proteins. Now, speaking of the branched chain amino acid, we get 1.1 of leucine, 0.7 of valine, 0.6 of isoleucine. Where are we going to put our cottage cheese in the tier list? Now, I would say 11 grams of protein and only 97 kilocalories. And this food here really keeps you very full. Decent spread of essential amino acid, but only 2.4 of branched chain and 1.1 of leucine. So originally I was thinking about putting these into low C tier. But there is a case of something really good in cottage cheese, which is a protein called casein. Now, casein is a huge protein, and it takes your body a long time to break it down. Now, obviously, if you have problems with dairy, casein is going to be a nightmare for you. But let's say you can digest dairy properly. So casein is so large and it takes such a long time for your body to break it down that it can provide you for like amino acid for about 4 to 6 hours. And if you combine that with some fat, this can go all the way down to about 7 hours. Why is this important? Well, when you're sleeping, you're not eating, you're not exercising. So if your body can get all of these nutrients during the sleep, there could be the case that this could be really useful for you. So this is the reason why, especially when combined with something like chia seed or flaxseed before going to bed, casein, I'm gonna put this into the mid of the C tier only for this reason here, because the values are not great, but casein makes a bit of a difference if you want to grow muscle. Next in our list, we have pork loin, which is one of the best forms of pork. We have 186 kilocalories, about 10 of fat, 0 carbs, 25 of protein. So this one takes the spot as the highest one yet. And let's have a look here. 1.3 of valine, 2.1 of leucine, which is really good. 1.2 of isoleucine. Where are we going to put this? Well, we have 25 grams of protein, so far is the highest one, and we have about 10 grams of fat. Now, this type of fat coming from pork, is it really good when it comes to your health? The answer is probably not. It's not 100% guaranteed or sure, but I would say probably it's not the greatest, but you also need to consider that for you to be able to make anabolic hormones, like your testosterone as an example, like you need fat. And this type of fat here will help you to make more testosterone. So in terms of just muscle growth, it is actually good. It is actually good. In terms of your health, that's debatable. I don't have a full answer just yet. Now, good spread of essential amino acid, 4.6 grams every 100 of branched chain amino acid, 2.1 of leucine. So this one here goes straight away into mid A tier. Now, there could be the case of this going into high A tier. The only reason I'm not going to put it there is something called arachidonic acid, which is one of the most inflammatory type of fatty acid that a person can eat. And the more inflamed you are, the more you can be prone to injuries. And obviously, if you're injured, you can't really train properly. You're going to be inflamed, and that's not going to be ideal for your health. And therefore, I'm not going to put it into high A tier, but mid A tier. Next, we have edamame beans, and edamame beans, they have 108 kilocalories, 5 of fat, 8 of carbs, 11 of protein. So as you can see, once again, there are some carbs here, so consider that when you're eating them. This is unfortunately though the problem with edamame beans. 0.3 of valine, 0.3 of isoleucine, 0.7 of leucine. That's very pathetic. So where do we put it? Like 11 grams of protein, decent essential, but only 1.3 of branched chain, only 0.7 of leucine. Like edamame beans can be really healthy food, but for many and for muscle growth is absolute garbage. Low C tier, and there could be even a case for F tier. I never used F tier, but this was the first time I was considering using F tier because, like, again, it's a very healthy food for some people, but in terms of muscle growth, it's garbage. There is nothing, like, I cannot find any redeeming factors in here. Next is venison, which means deer. Now, venison, 142 kilocalories, 2 grams of fat, 30 grams of protein. Now this one here goes to absolutely number one in terms of proteins. We have 1.5 of valine, 2.3 of leucine, 1.3 of isoleucine. This is really, 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 really good. Now, where do we put this? 30 grams of protein, great spread of essential amino acid, excellent threonine, which is really, really important for your mood and your brain. But not only that, also excellent levels of tryptophan, even better than turkey. Turkey is very famous for tryptophan to help your mood. No. Deer is even better with that. 5.1 of branched chain amino acid, 2.3 of leucine. If you remember from the meat video, it was S tier in the meat food, and it's gonna still be here S tier. So really, really good. Like venison in general takes the cake for now. Finally, we have peanuts, and have a look here. Peanuts, 627 kilocalories, which is 4 times the amount of what you could find in venison. 52 grams of fat, 15 of carbs, and 9 of fiber, which is fairly good because it helps you with your regularity, and 28 grams of protein, which is higher than most animal foods. It's only below like chicken and some cases of beef and venison. But look at here, 1.1 of valine, 1.8 of leucine, and 1 of isoleucine, which is higher than many animal foods. But where do we put this? So that's very tricky, most difficult one to place for me, because 28 grams of protein every 100 is really, really high. Much more than many animal foods. And unfortunately, there are also 627 kilocalories, which is normally about 4 to 5 times the amount of calories that you're gonna find in animal foods. And that's a problem because, if you just envision this food to be the only one you have to muscle growth, yeah, it's going to make you a muscle growth, but you're also going to not gain muscle in a lean way, which is probably not what you want to do. That said, it's going to be good for your anabolic hormones because, as I said, like testosterone and other anabolic hormones, they come from where? They come from your fat. So 9 of fiber helps you with regularity, 3.9 of branched chain amino acid, like leucine 1.8. I'm torn here. I'm gonna put it into high B tier, but I don't think it would be wrong also to put it into low A tier. So high B for now is where it goes. So what is going to win here? What's gonna be number one? What's the best one of them all? Let's have a look. So here we have a clear victor. And this is the second time venison meat wins. So like in the meat video, venison, which means deer, show its power as an S tier food. It's simply too good. Solid victory. It's gonna pass to the Champions League and challenge chicken again. So we're gonna put them one against the other one more time and see which one shall reign supreme. Now, to close this video here, let me tell you the 4 parameters for building muscle. So overall, the first one is the calorie intake. You need more energy. You need to eat more energy than the one you use. Otherwise, you cannot build muscle. 2, the presence of the 9 essential amino acids. You need them. You cannot get your maximum muscle growth in the absence of the 9 essential amino acids. Then, to optimize, highest amount of branched chain amino acid. And 4, the maximum levels of leucine. When you put all of this together, and you challenge your muscle, you rest well, you add good hydration, and you will absolutely be amazing. Now, if you like this type of videos, there's going to be another one here, or you can subscribe to my channel right here. And please go in the comment down below to let me know what nutrition tier list you would like to see next. For now, have a great day and see you soon. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.